lose the puck in the sunlight. Never seen it before in professional hockey. McCarthy, a 10-minute misconduct, 15-17 the time.
Still, we will skate 5-on-5 with 4:43 to go in the second, and again, we're tied at 1-1.
Mike Barak alongside Jim Barber from the Pepsi Coliseum in Indianapolis. I enjoyed calling games here in this city for the Checkers when they were playing at Market Square Arena, and the intimacy, I think, in this building, the fans really enjoy it here in the much smaller Coliseum as far as the capacity is concerned, although the ice surface is much bigger. Here's the play now, back of the goal. Now to the right wing point for Guy. His shot deflects high in the air. Knocked down by Salt Lake's Clark. Clark swivels to get away from an ice player. Then it's won by Bancroft on the far side. Mad scramble to the left of the Indianapolis goal. Now it's wound free along the boards to the right wing side for Guy. His shot dribbles towards the net. LeBlanc steers it aside, and now back of the goal. Salt Lake's Brose to the left wing point for Melrose. Along the far side for Harkin. Centers Cruz trying to whack it free. Now Guy pinching in for the Golden Eagles. They scramble for it again, and they still control the fight for it into the Indianapolis zone. The Eagles buzzing into the ice territory, and finally Krivo-Krasov able to break out of there for Indianapolis. Trying to play it to center, but Salt Lake break it up into the neutral zone in this 1-1 game. 3:46 to go in the second period, and the ice take over. Here is Krivo-Krasov and across the line. Left wing side for Bancroft. He is just flattened by the Eagles. Todd Harkins at center. Quick shot blocked away at the defense as Krivo-Krasov drops it to the point. Trefloff the save as it was let go by Cleary from the point, and Salt Lake's Cruz back the other way. Into the ice zone, one man back. Cruz cuts in the slot, but LeBlanc pokes it away. And Bancroft on left wing, able to play it free into the neutral zone. And Wortman winds it right back in. Jim, a tight checking game here, 1-1 here at the Pepsi Coliseum. Here is Hafey on right wing. Plays for Chernomaz. In front for Hafey. Loose, but it's tipped away. Hafey was crashing for the goal. There was an empty side, and the ice cleared right back into the Salt Lake zone. Trefloff sets it up back of the goal, and Stoke gets away from the checking of Zach Boyer, former teammate of Paul Cruz, and Kamloops to the Western Hockey League. Now Stoke on left wing, able to pound it right back into the ice territory, and Ivan Dropa on left wing, able to play it for Craig Woodcroft along the boards on the left wing side of this 1-1 game. 2:40 to go in the middle period, and Salt Lake trying to play it free. Wortman on right wing leads it for Nikoluk, ahead for Hafey, in on goal, shoots high, and that deflects, I believe, up over top of the goal. You're watching and listening to International Hockey League action from Indianapolis, the Indianapolis Ice and the Salt Lake Golden Eagles.
(1849), the year of the California Gold Rush. 1849, the year Schlitz began brewing beer. The Gold Rush left California with 273 ghost towns. Schlitz brought fame to a little Wisconsin town named Milwaukee. Since that time, many have searched in vain for gold, while the truly fortunate have always known where to find it.
Mike Barak alongside Jim Barber, the voice of the ice, and along the far side of the left of the goal, it looks like we're going to have a high stick penalty, and it's going to be against the Golden Eagles as the Ice were in their own defensive side, but a penalty coming up.
Sometimes it's a high stick violation, sometimes a high stick penalty. Referee now signaling over to the box, and we will have a high stick penalty coming up against the Golden Eagles.
A high stick violation would be if you tip the puck with your stick above your shoulders, but in this case, the minor penalty coming up against Salt Lake, and Todd Gillingham is in the box. The sixth power play coming up for the Ice. They're 1 for 5 so far. Rich Chernomaz discussing things over at the penalty timekeeper's box.
That was a good camera shot there of Gillingham's frustration, and of course the folks behind him aren't going to help him out any.
Gillingham, a rough-nosed player last year, played for St. John's of the American Hockey League. We want to mention that Scott Sharples, who fans here in Indianapolis and back in Salt Lake will remember, has been loaned out by the Flames to St. John's of the American League with the excess number of goaltenders, the Calgary Flames. Way back of the goal now, 1:53 left in the penalty, so just starting, 2:09 left in the middle period. A 1-1 saw-off as the Ice clear it right back in. It deflects to the back of the goal. Indianapolis trying to work it free for Brad Lauer. Salt Lake's Chernomaz just picks an opening and clears it all the way down. Struch and Chernomaz up front for Salt Lake. St. Jacques up front with Zach Boyer and Brad Lauer. And the Ice trying to work it free on the right wing boards. The pass for Zach Boyer. He was tremendous last year in the Memorial Cup playoffs in junior hockey, and Salt Lake cleared all the way down. In fact, he scored a game-winning goal off the backup goaltender tonight for the Ice, Kevin Hodson, who played for Sault Ste. Marie of the Ontario League. Ice trying to work it free. Boyer into the Salt Lake zone, trying to sweep it free, and here's Paul Cruz in the center. And the Golden Eagles left winger just backhands it in before taking a hit. We're going to have another penalty. It looks like Tony Herkus is going to get called, and a very little push in the center ice, but Greg Kimmerly is going to call Herkus for the minor.
This is the third time tonight, and actually the third time in recent memory, that the Ice have started on a power play only to negate it. And that is something that will infuriate John Marks, who I think has been on edge since the beginning of the season. As I mentioned earlier, for his Ice team, he wants to get them out of the gate quickly. The 2 wins in Fort Wayne seem to have set the tempo for that. Then they come back, lose 2 in a row. Now a tight game tonight, but no excuses for having a power play being negated by your own man's penalty.
Tony Herkus, the minor for elbowing at 1840. Herkus with 297 National Hockey League games to his credit. And the Eagles will end up having their 5th power play. And again, an abbreviated man advantage. They'll have 59 seconds to work. And that, I believe, will be towards the end of this period, then on in to the 3rd stanza. Right now, a 4-on-4 situation with Hafey and LeBeau, Melrose and Wertman for the Golden Eagles as they try and work it free to center ice and wound right back in. St. Jacques up front for the Indianapolis Ice, along with the player Andreevsky. Now with under a minute to go in the period of this 1-1 game, Ice clear it right back in. Out of the goal, Trefilov to play it. Indianapolis says St. Jacques in a forecheck, but Salt Lake trying to play it free. Here is the Eagles' Wertman losing possession. Trefilov able to fall on top with 44 seconds to go in the period. Trefilov, a 12th round Calgary pick in 1991. You wonder, Jim, well, why did he go so late in the draft? But with the Soviet players, there was always concern on whether they can get them over or not. And in this case, Trefilov was signed by the Calgary Flames and sent to Salt Lake. But a lot of the Soviet players were drafted in rounds 10, 11, and 12, way deep into the draft because of the uncertainty of having them play for their organizations.
In Krivo Krasov's case, he wasn't sure he could get into Canada. That's why he's with Indianapolis as we speak.
Face-off control by the Salt Lake Golden Eagles. This is their 24th year of operation in professional hockey, the Western League, the Central League, and the IHL. Here's Hafey to center, pokes it right back in. LeBeau as the other forward, 30 seconds to go in the period. They fight for it ferociously back of the net and freeze it with 28 seconds to go in the second. We are tied at 1, and the face-off will be deep to the left of Ray LeBlanc. And Jim, you were here when LeBlanc came back from the Olympics. What was it like? What was the feeling here in this city?
Standing room only for the game that he first debuted in, if you will, coming back from the Olympics. Of course, when he went on the road in Milwaukee at the Bradley Center, 15,000 there, a 5-minute standing ovation. The entire city, and a lot of people here aren't hockey fans, really got excited by his return. And I think emotionally the team carried with LeBlanc into that 8-game win streak. When the emotion died down, so did the team, and didn't make the playoffs. And you will talk with the architect of Salt Lake City between periods, Bob Francis.
Bob Francis, second to John Marks in experience in the International Hockey League as far as head coaching is concerned. Here is Stoke at the point, shooting one. That deflects wide. Salt Lake with LeBeau and Chernomaz up front. Now the play to the side of the goal. Gillingham is back on. A brief power play for the Golden Eagles. Gillingham now trying to sweep it free. Bancroft gives them a hit. Gillingham trying to freeze it. And now Salt Lake winded to the point. At the right side, it's Guy. Shoots LeBlanc. Kick save Stoke. The rebound over top of the net.
Ooh.
4 seconds left. Guy holds it in. His shot. LeBlanc holds on, and that's it. The buzzer sounds signaling the end of the second period. The Eagles score right after a power play, and my gosh, we have ourselves a tight one. 22-14 shots on goal Ice, but a 1-1 tie.
If there's any difference in this game, it is the fact that Indianapolis has had power play opportunities negated by their own penalties, and as a result, they have neutralized themselves. Really, it hasn't been so much the defensive play of Salt Lake City on the power plays, but the fact that the Ice have had a power play advantage, and then that has been taken away from them as you look at the Golden Eagles going off to their locker room to talk with Bob Francis. And again, you will hear from Bob Francis in a matter of minutes. The music tells us it's time to break and come back with a recap of period number 2 in a moment as you're watching the IHL and listening as well from Indianapolis between the Ice and the Golden Eagles.
What happens when you want to know your bank balance?
At midnight, even though my banking center is closed.
INB's customer information hotline is open.
Anytime you have financial questions, you deserve
Prompt answers. That's why.
INB's customer information hotline never closes. You can call us
toll-free from anywhere in the country.
So when you bank with us,
You're never out of touch.
With INB's customer information hotline, we're working for you.
24 hours a day.
Introducing the birthday game from the Hoosier Lottery with a chance to win $3,000 a week for a whole year and lots of instant cash prizes.
Happy birthday to you.
With the birthday game, winning $3,000 a week for a year could be a piece of cake.
Well, who'd you expect? All the money went into prizes.
The Blackhawks are coming. The Chicago Blackhawks battle the Washington Capitals in an election night face-off at Market Square Arena. Tuesday, November 3rd at 7:30. It's your only chance to see NHL hockey at Indianapolis this year. You will not find tickets to a National Hockey League game for a lower price. Come join us as we freeze the floor of Market Square Arena one more time for the NHL election night face-off.
Hi, Bobby Leonard for National Car Sales. Just give us a shot. No, a shot to give you a great deal. Like a 90 Geo Metro for just $133 a month. Or a 94 Tempo for only $74.95. Before you buy a car, truck, or van, give us a shot to earn your business by giving you a great deal. National Car Sales, out by that big old green sign at 7111 West Washington Street.
Jim Barber and Mike Barrick back at the Pepsi Coliseum. And before we recap what we saw in the second period, and again, the game is tied at 1-1 after 2. I want to say congratulations on a great job tonight, because not only are we splitting the feed and sharing it, which is tough, but the lovely, solid, cold dancers performing behind us. You haven't even looked once.
No, I'm concentrating on the action here tonight. We have our swimsuit contest in Salt Lake. You get plenty of action.
Really? What is that? I think I might be able to work that in my schedule.
We may be able to invite you out for that one.
We have had a great defensive game here tonight. If you like defense, this is the place to be.
No question about it. Shots on goal a little bit closer, 10-9 ice in the second period. The goaltenders have had a couple of great scoring chances to save here tonight, but it's been a fairly close checking game, Jim. And, you know, we thought traditionally when these two teams meet, style of play is similar, and that's what we're having here tonight. 22 shots for the Ice so far in this game.
The Ice came in leading in the second period 1-0, but you know eventually Salt Lake City was going to get on the board. Here's how it's happened. It's not a power play goal effectively, or I guess logistically, but the fact is Salt Lake City still had the advantage as the man in the box was coming off.
Eagles were working the puck around, and finally the Golden Eagles were able to. Rich Chernomaz. Chernomaz parked to the right of LeBlanc, stationed himself free, and was able to score the goal. Little snapshot. Rich Chernomaz, over 200 goals, regular season and playoffs for the Salt Lake Golden Eagles, and he was able to whip it home to give the Golden Eagles the tie at 1. Last year, he set a franchise mark, passing the legendary Doug Palazzari, regular season and playoffs, career goal-scoring champion for Salt Lake.
Ray LeBlanc, you mentioned earlier about what type of reception he got in this town. I mean, the place was just unglued. The city came out to welcome him in droves, one of the biggest crowds on hand. And LeBlanc tonight has not faced much activity, but when he has, as we'll show you in this tape highlight for the second period, he's been quite effective.
First period, he stopped Patrick LeBeau all alone, and in the second period, a good scramble in front of the goal, as actually that was Trefilov. in front, or no, LeBlanc right in front of the goal, able to hold on with traffic in front of the net, and he was just able to cover it up, and then players came crashing in, and boy, he took a shot right there in front of the ice cage.
It's been so much fun to watch Ray LeBlanc because he is so serious about this season. I mean, really, he's disappointed. He should be in the National Hockey League in his opinion, but he is here, and in his mind, he is going to find a way to work his way up to the National League before long.
It's tough. I mean, the Blackhawks have Ed Belfour. He plays the majority of the games, and for Ray LeBlanc to get a chance up there, it's difficult.
It is a 1-1 hockey game here from the Pepsi Coliseum. The shots on goal and scoring in this, well, not a whole lot to report, really, because the scoring hasn't been very much. It's only a 1-1 game. Shots on goal dominated by Indianapolis, and just until a few minutes left in the second period, Salt Lake was under double digits in shots on goal.
Yeah, traditionally, not a lot of shots in this building. The white ice surface does not make it easy for the offense, Jim, and that's what we've seen. Good, tight defense by the Indianapolis team.
All right, before we take a break, let's show you one more replay of some of the activity. Again, we've talked so much tonight on how great a defensive game it is. If you're used to offense, when these two teams get together, it's anything but. And look at a great scoring chance right here.
Well, the Ice had a chance into the Salt Lake zone on Andrei Trefilov. The puck was loose in the slot area, and again, players crashing in front. The puck was loose right to the side of the goal, and at the last moment, it looks like the player in front was just able to tip it away in front of. That's Indianapolis player LeBlanc again making another good save in goal for the Ice.
Ray hasn't had many so far, but the ones he has made have come up big. Again, a scoring summary in the second period. Well, it's only one goal to speak of. And along with that, shots on goal, we haven't had a whole lot, but the numbers reflect a pretty good defensive game.
Rich Chernomaz had the goal for Salt Lake from Kevin Wertman and Alex Udine at 4:17, and that's the only goal in this period. The Ice on a goal by Woodcroft in the first period, and then in the shots on goal department, as mentioned, 10 shots for the Ice and only 9 for Salt Lake in the second period, 22-15, and the power plays are a factor in this game, 1 for 6 and 0 for 6, so the teams have not capitalized with the man advantage.
All right, Mike, nice job on play-by-play in the second period. Take a rest, take a breather for a minute.
Jim, it'll be tough, but we should be in for quite a third period. I'm looking forward to it.
For those folks back in Salt Lake City, it's Barrick Live to Barrick on Tape. When we come back, Bob Francis, the fine coach of the Golden Eagles, talks with Mike Barrick here.
We look at it as electronic direct mail because you're able to actually pinpoint the areas that you want to be in, the homes, you know exactly where it's going.
Repetition builds reputation, and we feel that that's what we're accomplishing when we're dealing with the interconnect. Cable, television, the interconnect is definitely a major factor in this market.
The best thing about advertising on cable is knowing that our commercials are running in a controlled, targeted environment. That is also cost-effective.
Plug it in and electrify your life. See the power? Seize the power.
What happens when you want to know your bank balance?
At midnight, even though my banking center is closed.
INB's customer information hotline is open.
Anytime you have financial questions, you deserve
prompt answers. That's why
INB's customer information hotline never closes. You can call us
toll-free from anywhere in the country.
So when you bank with us,
You're never out of touch.
With INB's customer information hotline, we're working for you.
24 hours a day.
This is the medal Schlitz just won at the Great American Beer Festival. Schlitz won Best American Lager Beer, beating several major brands. We're proud of this medal, but we're even more proud of the quality and great taste of Schlitz beer. So choose what the judges at the Great American Beer Festival chose. Schlitz, the beer that made Milwaukee famous.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to tonight's International Hockey League game, the Salt Lake Golden Eagles and the Indianapolis Ice. And with me is the head coach of the Salt Lake Golden Eagles, Bob Francis. Bob, big series here tonight against the Ice, and early on in the start of the year. How are things going for the hockey team?
Well, things are going fairly well, Mike. We're probably where we expected to be at this point. We've had a fairly tough schedule thus far, and I like the way the team's responded, and I think we're the type of team that's going to get better and better. We have a challenge in front of us tonight. We've always had a difficult time here in Indianapolis. The rink's different. It's a bigger surface, and you have to adjust your game accordingly. So it'll be interesting to see how we adjust to this ice surface tonight.
Salt Lake Golden Eagles hockey team last year, a very physical team. Bob, this year the team a little bit more skilled up front, tremendous goaltending, quite a difference from last year. How do you see the differences between the team from a year ago?
Well, Mike, we had to make some adjustments. We had a chemistry imbalance last year. We had, as you mentioned, a very physical team, and with the change in the rules and the direction the game is going, it dictated that we needed to get some better speed up front, and I think our skill levels improved immensely. We have a better chemistry with our team. We're still physical, we're still tough, but we're a lot quicker up front, and I think we're very solid in goal with Andrei Trefilov and Trevor Kidd. I think we have as good a tandem in goal as there is around the league, and as there's been in the minor leagues in the past decade. We have two outstanding prospects in goal. Our defense has come along nicely, and I think we're a stronger team this year.
You know, the fans here in Indianapolis are well aware of Ray LeBlanc, the Olympic goaltender, but Andrei Trefilov actually played against Ray LeBlanc, and so did Trevor Kidd in some of the exhibition games between Canada and Team USA.
That's true, Mike. Andrei played for the Russian team, and Trevor was on the Canadian team, and Andrei's record last year is 25-1-3 with about a 1.76 goals against percentage, and he finds a way to win. He's got an unorthodox style of play, but he's got unbelievable reflexes, and he's a tremendous athlete. Trevor Kidd, he's a first-round draft pick. He was the 8th pick overall, and that just shows what kind of ability he has right there. But he's a big kid that's very quick. He takes up a lot of the net, and he's only 21 years old, so there's a bright future for both of them.
Last year, the Golden Eagles struggled at times scoring goals. This year, you have Sean Hafey and Todd Harkins back, but Patrick LeBeau, a newcomer from the Montreal organization, a hat trick the other night to win a game against Phoenix. He's been fabulous in the early going.
Yeah, it's a key acquisition for us, Mike, obviously, and the impact he's going to make for us just showed in the third period. He pretty much took over and scored 3 big goals, enabling us to beat Phoenix. And going into the season, we knew we needed a little bit more offense up front, and Calgary obliged us by acquiring Patrick from the Montreal organization. I think Patrick is a situation that he has a tremendous amount of skill, and maybe he's dead-ended in the Montreal organization. They picked up Dan Foose and Bellows this summer, and that kind of put him in a predicament. But we're glad to have Patrick. The organization is happy to have him. He's shown he's a quality player at this level, and hopefully he'll get his opportunity up top one day.
Top farm team for the Calgary Flames of the National Hockey League, a coaching change there. How does that affect the Golden Eagles?
Well, I think it's really structured the organization, that things are structured at this point, and now there's a direct person you have to answer to. Dave's done an incredible job in training camp. He addressed some of the problems. The whole organization had a problem with the penalty department. I think we're much more disciplined in that area. We placed more of an emphasis on their skill up front, and I think there's a bright future for Calgary and Salt Lake in both organizations.
Okay, the Eagles here in Indianapolis, we talked about going against Ray LeBlanc, the big ice surface. Bob, you played in this building, Central Hockey League. The Indianapolis Checkers had some great teams over the years here, and it's always fun here in this building, the big ice surface from a coaching perspective. What do you look for in a game here in this building?
Well, it affects all categories of your game. Number one, getting the puck deep. It's difficult for the goaltender. There's a lot of room behind the net. If you get it deep with a purpose of getting it back and get in hard in the forecheck, you're going to get it back. As well as it's very wide. You have to watch your transition game. You have to do your assignments, and you have to be disciplined with your assignments through the neutral ice. And especially teams. The penalty kill, there's a lot of room in the offensive zone, and we like the aggressive attack on our penalty kill rotation, but I think we're going to have to be a little bit more passive because of the wide sheet, and then at the other end of it on the power play, you have a tendency to work on the perimeter and not converge. So we have to shoot, converge, outnumber, and lose pucks in the power play, and be a little bit more disciplined, a little bit more passive on a penalty kill.
Final note, how do you see this Golden Eagle team for the rest of the year?
I think we're the type of team that we're hopefully just going to get better. We have strong character people. We have very good people. It's a great group to work with, and they have a great work ethic in practice. And anytime you work with a group of people like that, you're bound to get better. So hopefully we'll improve a little bit as the team progresses. And it's interesting to match yourself up against the powerhouses like San Diego at this point. It'll be interesting to match yourselves up against them as the season progresses and see how far we've come along.
Bob, best of luck to you and the Eagles the rest of the way.
Thank you, Mike. Appreciate it.
Bob Francis, head coach of the Salt Lake Golden Eagles. We'll have more hockey, the Eagles and the Indianapolis Ice, in just a moment.
Banker's hours? You won't find them
At INB, look, we know you can't stop everything.
Just to get to the bank. So now, many INB banking centers
They're open Saturdays. You gotta like that. Saturday banking.
right here at INB. And we're making banking easier on weekdays.
by keeping the lobbies in many of our centers open
Into the early evening. And frankly,
That's a more convenient way to bank.
Saturday banking at INB. We're working for you.
Now, isn't that convenient?
What can you do with a wet basement? Call Jack Grant's Basement Dewatering Systems. We'll install an attractive and affordable dewatering system that delivers proven results guaranteed. We've installed over 1 million feet since 1978. That's over 6,000 satisfied customers. No excavation is necessary and affordable financing is available. Reclaim your wet basement and turn it into usable living space. Call right now. Jack Grant's Basement Dewatering Systems, 255-2425. 255-2425.
Jim Barber and Mike Barrick back at the Pepsi Coliseum. We're just about set to start period number 3 in a 1-1 hockey game between the Eagles and the Ice. Again, if you're just joining us and wondering about the announcer placement this evening, well, first of all, Bob Lamey had a death in the family, so was unable to make tonight's broadcast. I'm sitting in for him. Mike is the voice of the Salt Lake Golden Eagles, and tonight we are sharing a feed with the great folks from the West as well as the people here in Indianapolis, and been quite a good hockey game tonight. It's nice to be able to send a game back to everybody that really is well played and defensively well maneuvered.
Shots on goal through 40 minutes of play, 22-15 Ice, as the Ice make their appearance here at the Pepsi Coliseum. The Eagles have had some good scoring chances on Ray LeBlanc. Trefilov has played well, as Elvis is up here dancing to our right here at the Coliseum. So you never know what's going to happen at a hockey game. Of course, in Salt Lake, the fans have been treated to the new mascot Eagles, and Milwaukee will square off next Friday and Saturday night at the Delta Center. But my gosh, lots of games tonight in the International League.
And 3 of them are deadlocked. The only game decisively in favor of one team is Cincinnati, beating up on Kalamazoo 6-3 in the third. Again, tomorrow night, same 2 teams as Elvis will leave the building. That's the eye. Now look at the National Hockey League and look at San Jose. The Sharks have come out of nowhere. Montreal and the Rangers have gone to overtime. The Islanders and Washington have tightened up, and we mentioned earlier the Kings without Gretzky, and that's an old team in Los Angeles, but out of the gate very well so far.
They have Coffey and Curry as well, but they have some youngsters now. Robert Long has really stepped forward up front for them, and some young defensemen for the Los Angeles Kings. Rob Blake is one of those, and they played well. Boston, they beat the parent team for the Salt Lake Golden Eagles, the Calgary Flames, last night by a score of 4-2, trailing at Edmonton tonight. And former Golden Eagle Darren Banks got a chance to play in the NHL against the Flames, where he had played in Salt Lake the last couple of years, and the Oilers leading that game. But Edmonton really struggling to start the season. That's been a major surprise early on in the start. They've had some contractual problems, but started off slowly. All the ice around Ray LeBlanc, and he's still wearing the USA mask, and I think that really separates him from the other players here in Indianapolis.
He's really dwarfed by big Zach Boyer over there. Looks like big brother, little brother.
LeBlanc will turn 28 years of age tomorrow from Fitchburg, Massachusetts, a 9th-year pro. As we talked about, American-born Rookie of the Year in 1986-87 in the league, and the Eagles have had 4 consecutive players win that award, including Paul Ranheim, Tim Sweeney, C.J. Young, and last year Kevin Wertman. LeBlanc won that award in 1986-87.
Shots on goal in favor of the Ice. As we start the third period, it's still a power play opportunity for the Golden Eagles. They'll have all of 40 seconds left to do that. And again, if you're just tuning in, the Ice have lost 3 good power play chances, negating their own efforts by penalties by some of their players. So Marks will try to work on that in the final period.
Both teams' penalty killing units have been strong. The Ice 1 for 6, Salt Lake 0 for 6 on the power play here in this game. Actually, this their 6th power play opportunity of the night, and they will start off with the man advantage.
Rich Chernomaz has a few words for the referee, as Heafy and Williams now will do it up at center ice, and period number 3 is about set to get underway. Pull up a chair and sit back and enjoy what has turned out to be a fine defensive battle tonight. Ice back in their own zone, and defenseman Adam Bennett sends it around a high glass, whistling past a couple of players all the way down to Trefilov in his own goal. Now Udine with the puck, tries to bring it up and sends it along the near boards. Back to defend for Indianapolis, Kahn, Bancroft, and Bennett. Ice still killing off the penalty. Oh, Wortman shoots one in. That's deflected along the boards on the near side. LeBlanc takes it, tries to set it up. Now Patrick with the puck, still stick handling. LeBlanc now backs it to Chernomaz, who has the one goal, shooting in on Bancroft, and Bancroft knocked it away and all the way back to the Salt Lake end.
Eagles need to crash the net on LeBlanc. That's the key to scoring goals off him. The Ice did a nice job as soon as they gained a possession of the puck to clear it outside the blue line.
It's a 1-1 hockey game. The penalty is long over. Team skating at full and equal strength as we start the final period. Now out in front, Boyer shooting, and Trefilov makes the save, and a nice play by Andre as Boyer tried to sneak one in to Trefilov's right.
Zach Boyer, a fourth-round Blackhawks pick in 1991. He circled from behind the goal, cut in front. No Eagle player in the vicinity to take him off the puck, and he lit one high, but Trefilov makes the save. Golden Eagles leader in scoring this year in goals, Patrick LeBeau. He's leading in a few of the categories, and of course, Trefilov with that goals against of 2.92 in the early going.
LeBeau ever dangerous, and of course he has been around LeBlanc many times tonight. Now Dropa tries to shoot it in. It's deflected at the point and out to the neutral zone. Eagles had a stick on it for a moment, but Tichy able to knock it away and back into Salt Lake end. It's a 1-1 hockey game and a great defensive one tonight. Just starting the third period. This one flipped toward LeBlanc, and LeBlanc finally puts his mitts on it. You know, that looks like a harmless flip as the two teams now battle for position.
The glass here, it's such an old building, such a wide ice surface, things are going to happen a little bit differently, and on that particular play LeBlanc was able to pounce on top. The Ice have mixed scoring also as far as their offense is concerned.
And Brad Lauer's 3 goals this year, all on the power play. The defenseman Milan Tichy leads the team in scoring with the 6 points, all off assists, and plus minus Carl Dykhouse doing the best work there at a +4.
Here's Elvis again here at the Coliseum, and he's going to be dead tired running around that 215-foot ice surface here in Indianapolis.
Looks pretty hungry as always. Now Bennett tries to get it out of the zone. A puck is loose. Salt Lake shooting it on LeBlanc just to his right. Now the body applied to Dykhouse by Clark. Tied up for a moment is St. Jacques, and here comes Bennett. Bennett leads the offense into the zone, tries to take a shot, but never got much of a handle on it. Back in the Salt Lake end, it's loose in the slot. Dykhouse tried to get to it. Clark threw his body at it. And here the Eagles now will flip it all the way down. Now we got a whistle and a penalty coming up against the Golden Eagles.
Paul Cruz in deep to forecheck, and I believe he's the guilty Eagle as he was in deep, got his stick up. He's complaining on the play, feeling that he was also knocked out of the player previous to that, but he's going to be sent to the penalty box. A tripping call, 1:54 into this period.
Referee Kimberly made the call. Cruz isn't thrilled about it. He'll be in the box for the next 2 minutes. Another power play chance for Indianapolis. Boy, the Ice have had plenty tonight.
Yes, another power play. Their 7th chance of the night. They're 1 for 6 on the power play, and we have had 13 man advantage chances tonight.
Numbers can be misleading after the first 2 games in their wins over Fort Wayne. Indianapolis had a power play efficiency of 38%. As you go on in the season, that number is going to drop off, much like a hitter who hits well in April and then has to go into May and June. But Ice haven't been very efficient at the power play lately, and tonight they have suffered.
16 minor penalties called by Kimberly tonight. That is a high total, and we still have 17:48 left in the final period.
Williams was leading for Woodcroft on the right wing. Tichy tries to keep it in the near corner. Indianapolis on another power play chance. Woodcroft sends it to the far side, back to the point for Bancroft. Now they stick handle back to the far point, and Bancroft shooting out in front. That one goes up in the corner, kept in. Once again, Steve Bancroft stick handling the puck to Williams. Now they go to the corner, back to Williams. Williams shoots in. That one deflected. Picked up by the Golden Eagles on the long rebound. Here comes Salt Lake City. Back to defend is Bancroft. Centering pass out in front against LeBlanc. Somehow he made the stop. I think.
Harkins center to Hafey, who was just plastered right in front of the goal. Earlier, Trefilov made a tremendous kick save off of Sean Williams from point-blank range. Eagles come back, and Harkins and Hafey work in, and LeBlanc is able to sprawl on top of the loose puck. Good scoring chances for both teams within a good 20-second time span.
We talked so much tonight, Mike, about the Olympic experience that's in this particular arena tonight, and we really haven't been disappointed.
No doubt about it. Trefilov played 4 games for the CIS team in the Olympics, and LeBlanc played 8. And with that spectacular 5-2-1 mark, I didn't realize, but he faced 55 shots against the unified team, and of course Trefilov was the backup for that team in the final game for Team USA, and the final in that game was 5-2. So a 50-save performance in a losing effort for Ray LeBlanc.
The great Vladislav Tretiak is the Blackhawks goalie coach, and he was named in a Sports Illustrated article as the all-time great goaltender, beating out some of the great Americans that played the game.
Including Glenn Hall, the goaltending coach for Calgary. As Trefilov.
Whoa! And excuse me for interrupting, but what a play by the Salt Lake goaltender there, as he took a bullet from the point and came up with the play.
Starting to say that you mentioned the goaltenders in that article, and Glenn Hall was bypassed. I believe Terry Sawchuk was second in that Sports Illustrated article, and Glenn Hall was the goaltending coach for the Calgary Flames. So you have 2 Hall of Famers in Tretiak and Hall as the goaltending coaches for these 2 respective teams. No wonder it's a 1-1 tie.
Still power play opportunity for Indianapolis in a 1-1 game as Dropa sends it over to Herkus. Now Herkus in the corner for Lauer. Lauer against Melrose and Boyer. Guy back there to defend for Salt Lake as well. It's back to the point and kept in by Ivan Dropa. Now they walk it in and shoot. Boyer had a chance from the near wing, couldn't get it underneath. Now they try again. Deflected on the near dot, loose in the slot. 2 Eagles go down. A penalty is coming up, and I think the penalty is going to be against Indianapolis.
Kevin Guy tripped up right inside the blue line, and Kimberly's going to call another minor, the 17th called in this game. 3:54 or 3:44 into this period, and Salt Lake will go on the man advantage, their 7th chance of the night.
Well, this isn't as serious as the other ice penalties were in the sense of negating a power play, but once again, there were 10 seconds left, the chance for another shot at Trefilov, and the penalty knocks that out, and you can't have that happen in a hockey game that many times.
14 combined power plays here tonight, just 1 major penalty, that timid misconduct served by McCarthy with 4:43 to go in the second period. He'll return in about 5 minutes from here. 1-1 the score here at the Pepsi Coliseum. A real goaltenders battle here tonight. John Marks would call this a barn burner. He used that description this morning. He said the Ice have been involved in quite a few of those this year.
A wonderful head of hair is starting to turn gray, and we're just a few games into the season. A penalty now wrapped up against the Golden Eagles, and now they will have the man advantage for the next minute 50. They'll send it all the way around the wheel. LeBlanc looks at it. LeBeau almost had a chance of it. Patrick LeBeau skating down against Tichy, but Tichy is able to get to it, find an open lane, and send it down.
Ice penalty killing strong. Eagles have been ineffective tonight on the power play, not crashing the net on Ray LeBlanc.
45 is Gillingham, 32 is LeBeau, 3 is Wortman, 16 is Chernomaz, and 7 is Udine. Those are the 5 skaters right now for the Salt Lake Golden Eagles. For Indianapolis, 9 is Sean Williams, 5 is Tichy.
They're going to change up here on the penalty killing unit. Jim, as just as we were giving the combinations, they switch up with 1:22 left in the Indianapolis penalty and 4:22 gone into the third period. And these changes sometimes are quick in the game of hockey, as now we have, you mentioned the Ice Girls here at the Pepsi Coliseum.
Solid cold dancers. For those of you listening on radio to Salt Lake, in Salt Lake, we apologize for mentioning the numbers, but we have to do a dual role tonight. And for those folks watching on TV,
they're missing those young ladies here at the Pepsi Coliseum.
That's right. So get a television set. Now Salt Lake attacking with a minute left on the power play. Send it deep into the corner. LeBeau almost had his stick on it. Bancroft pushed his man down to the ice as Hafey was set down spattering. Now it's back in the other end. Touched by the Eagles, and they'll have 50 seconds to set up the rush. 5-minute mark of the final period in a 1-1 game. Back to defend is Dykhouse, shooting in on LeBlanc right in front of his chest, and Ray LeBlanc maybe able to make this stop.
It was LeBeau down the right side. LeBlanc held that left side of the goal pretty nicely. LeBeau has a very tricky shot. Sometimes he'll go for the short side, sometimes he'll go low to the stick. This time he went to the short. LeBlanc read it beautifully and is able to make the stop with 5:02 gone into the third period. Still 42 seconds left in the ice penalty.
When these two teams first met in the first season of the Indianapolis Ice, Salt Lake City dominated, winning 9 of 10. Since then, it's been all Indianapolis. 16 of the last 19 games won by the Ice.
And to add to that, the Ice eliminated Salt Lake in 89-90, the year the Ice won the Turner Cup. In 5 games, boy, they had some terrific goaltending. Eagles just won 1 game at overtime, and that was it.
A blast right there from the point out in front. We got a penalty coming up, and when we come back, we'll set it up for you. A holding penalty called as you're watching and listening to great IHL hockey from the state capital of Indianapolis between the Ice and Golden Eagles.
Introducing the birthday game from the Hoosier Lottery with a chance to win $3,000 a week for a whole year and lots of instant cash prizes.
Happy birthday to you.
With the birthday game, winning $3,000 a week for a year could be a piece of cake.
Well, who'd you expect? All the money went into prizes.
As we come back live to Indianapolis, 5-on-3 skating, another great advantage for the Golden Eagles. But the Ice win the draw on Bancroft. Heafy able to keep it in. Bancroft got the puck and almost sent it all the way down, but Heafy did a nice job of keeping it in the Indianapolis zone. Now LeBeau stick handling the puck, and he is dangerous. Sends it back to the slot. On the return, LeBeau walks it in. Back to the slot. Heafy shooting it on LeBlanc. And a save and picked up by Kahn. And Kahn stick handles up to center ice. Almost loses it for a minute. Now dumps it in.
Sean Heafy, the best scoring chance of the power play for Salt Lake. A point-blank drive. And LeBlanc saw it all the way in front of the goal.
One penalty is over, but the Eagles still have a 5-on-4 advantage. Now Patrick LeBeau tied up in the near corner. Lauer able to take it away from Gillingham. LeBeau gets it back. Patrick sends it all the way to the far circle for Chernomaz. Now back out to the line, and here's Rich Chernomaz throwing it on in, and they don't score. Somehow LeBlanc came up with a save.
Patrick LeBeau stationed in front, had a great scoring chance, and LeBlanc somehow was able to sweep it away with an empty side staring LeBeau in the face.
We have seen some terrific goaltending tonight here in Indianapolis.
They are chanting Ray here at the Fairgrounds Pepsi Coliseum, and why not?
For those of you watching in Indianapolis, make it out here tomorrow night, because these same two teams, after they rest up, will do battle again.
And the Eagles will take on the Milwaukee Admirals next Friday and Saturday at the Delta Center, 7 o'clock. A special Halloween game in Salt Lake as the Eagles will take on the Milwaukee Admirals, and perhaps Trefilov will get a chance to play against his former teammate Stalenkov, who has been outstanding in the early going for the Milwaukee Admirals.
What's that guy doing with sunglasses here in the building?
Oh, I don't know. It's pretty dark in here along the side, and fans really enjoying that.
This is much better.
Well, we're supposed to watch the game, right?
Well, let's go back to that if we get a chance.
Face-off coming up, Jim, to the right of LeBlanc, and we got ourselves a great one. 35 seconds left in the penalty.
13:25 for the hockey game, and it's still very much up in the air. Mike Barrick and Jim Barber here from Indianapolis. Puck is dropped. Harkin's able to win the draw for the Golden Eagles, who keep it in. Now a blast from the slot, and LeBlanc again there for the save. Well, how many times can he stop that shot?
It's the second time on these power plays in the last couple of minutes. Heafy had one earlier, point blank from the middle of the blue line, and again here Salt Lake having a power play opportunity, and this is earlier when Gillingham set it in front to LeBeau, had the wide open side, and somehow LeBlanc got a glove on it and was able to steer it aside. The best scoring chance for Salt Lake. And again on this last sequence, Kevin Guy let one fly for the middle of the blue line. LeBlanc saw it easily, but it was that save on LeBeau, the save of the game so far.
That was a major league save there by Ray LeBlanc. LeBeau in the right place, right time, but somehow, with the great glove save, Ray LeBlanc came up big. Now the Ice come back shorthanded. Penalty winding down. This is Carl Dykhouse handling the puck. Flips it in on Trefilov. Now back in the corner. Dykhouse will get back to defend. Maybe time for one last rush for the Eagles on the power play. Dykhouse with a body into his man. Now out in front of the backhand. Save by LeBlanc. Struch almost stuck it in on LeBlanc.
And now Nikoluk and the Ice player, Krivo Krasov, have their sticks up to the left of the goal as Nikoluk stationed himself in the slot, and then it moved to the corner, and then pushing and shoving developed from there.
We're back with more of the IHL from Indianapolis as you're watching the Golden Eagles and the Ice in a 1-1 hockey game.
Hi, Bobby Leonard for National Car Sales. Just give us a shot. No, a shot to give you a great deal. Like a 90 Geo Metro for just $133 a month. Or a 94 Tempo for only $74.95. Before you buy a car, truck, or van, give us a shot to earn your business by giving you a great deal. National Car Sales, out by that big old green sign at 7111 West Washington Street.
Alex Nikoluk will be in the box for 2 minutes for Salt Lake City, so a holding penalty.
It's actually a high stick minor at 7:07.
Correction.
Believe it or not, Jim, the 8th power play for the Ice, 16 combined power plays, 8-8.
And 1-1, the numbers that count. Face off in the neutral zone. Nobody gets control of the draw. Now Indianapolis does as Tichy, the defenseman, sets it up back in his own end for Ivan Dropa. Now Dropa over Andreevsky. Here's Andreevsky as the Russian line is out here. Andreevsky over on left wing to Krivo Krasov, but Krivo Krasov threw it away. Back come the Golden Eagles with Dropa to defend. Puck is dropped in the near end behind Ray LeBlanc for Andreevsky. Now Andreevsky quickly up to center ice. Andreevsky to Krivo Krasov. Krivo Krasov across the line over to Kevin St. Jacques. St. Jacques holds it up behind the net. On the return to Krivo Krasov. Far blue line. Tichy shooting in. Tried to tap in was Andreevsky, but the Golden Eagles have the puck up to their own blue line. Now they dump it in with 12 minutes left in the hockey game and 1:05 left on the power play.
Eagles change up defensively. Chernomaz up front for Salt Lake along with the rookie Struch as the forwards in the penalty-killing situation.
Here's Milan Tichy, sends it all the way over to Krivo Krasov. Krivo Krasov sends it around the wheel. St. Jacques retrieves in the near corner. We're in the Salt Lake zone right now. Indianapolis attacking with 40 seconds left on their power play. Here's Bancroft in the slot, shooting it on in. It's deflected away from Trefilov and cleared by Salt Lake City.
Eagles change up defensively now. Cruz up front for Salt Lake along with the rookie Brost as the Ice still have another 26 seconds to go on the man advantage.
Cruz has to back check against St. Jacques, who gets across the line, but before St. Jacques was dropped, there was an offsides on the ice.
Actually, I think that was Herkus who moved in on that stop across the line with 11:15 to go in the third period. We are tied at 1. And interesting, Jim, the shots on goal now much more even. 24-23. The Ice still out shooting Salt Lake. The Eagles have had the better scoring chances here in the third period.
Well, Stu should be a little busy in this game, but it's been so defensive-minded that the light has been lit up only twice. Golden Eagles win the draw. They still have 15 seconds to kill off on the penalty, and we'll face off again.
There's a wide surface here, of course, at the Pepsi Coliseum, Jim, and the fans have a good view. The surface, although very wide and long, the center ice seats, just fantastic as far as the sight lines are concerned.
Our broadcast position is actually just above Ray LeBlanc here on the West End area.
35-91 the attendance tonight. Jim, I think the fans in Salt Lake would be interested to know that Wayne Gretzky actually played here briefly in Indianapolis with the old World Hockey Association racers.
Of course, everybody who has known of Wayne Gretzky maintains they saw him play in Indianapolis, and that is not humanly possible.
I believe he played 8 games here in this city, but when I was here, everybody said they saw him play here.
Out in front against Trefilov. Puck is loose, picked up by Lauer. Now back to the line. Isart shooting it. Lauer now jumps it in. It's behind the net. No chance for a rebound, and the penalty is over. Maybe the Ice got a little too fine on their passing there.
1-1 the score, and Bancroft clears it in.
For Tony Herkus. Herkus loses the puck, and back come the Golden Eagles. They don't have the numbers, but they're able to get the puck back into the line. Now Bancroft has it. He's still stick handling. Heafy chasing the puck down there, and now it's all the way back to the Salt Lake end.
A rare even strength situation for this period. There have already been 4 minors, and we have 10:20 left in the third period. Very few 5-on-5s in the game, and especially in this period.
Offsides on Salt Lake City with 10:13 left in the game. It is 1-1. Ice had the first goal of the game in period number 1. Then the Eagles tied it up in the second. Tomorrow night, the same 2 teams play here at the Pepsi Coliseum. I know Mike will be here calling the game for Salt Lake City, and for ticket information, call 924-1234 for those of you who live in the Indianapolis area. Great chance to make a game between 2 fine defensive teams. All right, we're dueling promos here, so back to you now for the end on Salt Lake.
6:15 pregame on All Sports Radio, 106.5 The Score, and KLO Radio in Ogden, Utah on the radio broadcast, the Eagles Radio Network. And then next Friday and Saturday night, 7 p.m. at the Delta Center, Eagles and the Admirals, including a special Halloween game, October 31st. And I will not be dressed up that night. Try and stay away from that, although so many have said that. Well, I won't get into that. Go ahead, Jim.
They haven't accused you of a face for radio, have
yes. They? Well, many have.
Out in front against LeBlanc. It looks like Tichy might have got his buddy on there, and now they score. Heafy got loose just to the right of Ray LeBlanc, and on the backhander blew it past him. And the Eagles, for the first time tonight, have a 2-1 lead.
10:06 the time of the goal. Heafy, who's had several scoring chances in the slot. This one was to the right of Ray LeBlanc, and it was just a backhander up high over his shoulder. And the Golden Eagles, Heafy, who had 41 goals as a rookie last year, lights it up, and the Golden Eagles have a lead 2-1. And interestingly enough, an even strength goal, not a man advantage tally. Todd Harkins on the assists for Salt Lake.
Heafy and Harkins combine at 10:06 of the final period, and for the first time tonight, Indianapolis is behind.
Todd Harkins set him up. Heafy on the backhand, his third of the year for Salt Lake. And with that goal, he and Chernomaz tied for second in the goal scoring department for Salt Lake, behind LeBeau in front.
Gillingham will have a 2-minute penalty coming up. When we come back, it's a power play for Indianapolis as you're watching and listening to the Eye from Indianapolis tonight. A great game between the Ice and Golden Eagles. Stay with us.
The Blackhawks are coming. The Chicago Blackhawks battle the Washington Capitals in an election night face-off at Market Square Arena. Tuesday, November 3rd at 7:30. It's your only chance to see NHL hockey at Indianapolis this year. You will not find tickets to a National Hockey League game for a lower price. Come join us as we freeze the floor of Market Square Arena one more time for the NHL Election Night Face-Off.
Sean Heafy's goal has Salt Lake City ahead 2-1, but the Ice have another power play chance. Boy, they had their opportunities tonight, and LeBlanc, a little careless of the Ice as Chernomaz was loose in the slot there.
Gillingham in the box for Salt Lake. Interference to call at 10:13, and the Ice, Jim, have the power play for the 9th time.
They've had a bunch tonight as Andreevsky brings it up to the line, gets past Chernomaz, and it's offsides Indianapolis. Andreevsky stick handling the puck well, but offsides on the ice, and we'll show you another look at Heafy's goal that just moments ago has given Salt Lake the lead.
It was the quick backhand in front, and I believe it went over the shoulder up high to the top left-hand corner. Heafy was being tied up by the defenseman. Adam Bennett was still able to get the shot off, Jim.
Brian Douglas producing tonight for the folks from Salt Lake City, Utah. Pete Richards for the Indianapolis crew. Both of those guys you won't see on camera, but doing a terrific job.
Want to thank Guys Wallen back at Channel 14 in Salt Lake as well.
Still a lot of hockey to go here in this one as the Ice shooting in on the power play. Puck is deep in the corner. Eagles unable to clear. Ice holding in. Now a one-timer by Bancroft off the far boards. Herkus tries to get to it in an open lane all the way down to LeBlanc. 1 minute left on the penalty. 8:45 for the game, and the Eagles have the 1-goal lead. Now here's Bancroft sending all the way ahead to Lauer. Lauer's bumped by Guy out in front, and Trefilov has to cover up. Somehow Lauer got loose, and Guy got back.
Couple of Indianapolis players in front of Trefilov, and for the most part, the puck has been in the Indianapolis side of the ice. Trefilov has not had the work as he had in the first two periods. Bob Francis, the Eagle head coach, John Marks, thinking of strategy right now. And Trefilov among the leaders in the International League with a 2.92 goals against. But interesting, Jim, Jeff Levy's second in the league from Kalamazoo. He's a Salt Lake native and has beaten the Golden Eagles twice already in the early going.
Stellenkoff of Milwaukee is third. We did not get a chance to see him last week in goals. Larry Dick was able to stop Indianapolis by a score of 5-2 in a game that its final score was much misleading because two open net goals at the end made it look like a blowout. 8:20 left in the hockey game. Indianapolis with only a half minute left on the power play. Now Herkus stick handling into the front. It's taken away from him, and it's cleared by Strush all the way down. Ice unable to get anything going here on this power play opportunity. They're ninth of the night. Here's Cleary along the near side. Cleary sends it all the way around the boards. Rob Codd gets the body from behind. Loose in the corner and back out to the blue line for Cleary. Cleary able to keep it in with only 5 seconds left in the power play. All the way to the other side. They'll need to shoot it quickly. Cleary does, but it's broken up and sent all the way down. Give the Eagles credit on the penalty killing tonight. They have been quite effective.
The Eagles are keeping the ice along the perimeters, and that's the situation here tonight. They are 1 for 8 so far.
Back with more in a moment. It's a 2-1 Salt Lake City lead.
What's the best-kept secret in the shipping business? Speedy Incorporated. Since 1972, Speedy has provided critical shipment connections from Chicago to Miami. Speedy also provides intrastate trucking services for 4,500 customers, including Indiana's Customs Examination Site. If you're looking to ship anything in or outside Indiana, look to Speedy. Call toll-free 1-800-428-5002. The best-kept secret in the shipping business is Speedy Incorporated.
Jim Barber with Mike Barrick for the final 7:20 of this hockey game, perhaps more depending on what happens, but Indianapolis will need to get a goal to tie this game up as Sean Hafey has put Salt Lake City ahead 2-1, and frankly, the Ice's ineffectiveness tonight, Mike, on the power play is turning out to be key.
Well, both teams struggling. 18 combined power play chances and only a single goal. Interestingly enough, the Golden Eagles 2 goals, even strength tallies. The Ice, the only team to have scored on the power play, and that's where we stand 2-1 with 7:16 left of the game. Both coaches, Bob Francis and John Marks, I'm sure will be working on the man advantage situations in practice.
Todd Prost ready to face off for Salt Lake City against Kevin St. Jacques. Eagles win the draw, and a blast against Ray LeBlanc. Deep into the corner, picked up by Indianapolis. Now down to the ice is Andreevsky, and another power play chance coming up for the Ice. They're 10th.
Paul Cruz can't believe it. He went for the puck. He ended up getting the skate of the Indianapolis player. He's going to get called for the penalty and knows it, but there's no question about it. He was going for the puck and ended up knocking down the man.
Well, this may not be so bad for Salt Lake City because the Ice have been unable to convert. And as we mentioned earlier, and I think it needs to be brought up again, the Ice have been their own worst enemies on the power play, committing penalties while having the man advantage.
This is inexcusable, really, as far as the numbers are concerned. The Eagles now 62 power play chances against, and tonight their 8th game. And it's a double minor for Cruz for the Salt Lake Golden Eagles. A trip for Cruz, and he couldn't have gotten 3 of them. A hook, well, that would be 3.
Actually, just a minor
tonight. 4 minors for Cruz tonight. That a trip at 12:55.
He's been in the box a lot tonight, but the Ice unable to capitalize. Now Andreevsky gets past the defense in Melrose. Andreevsky sends it into the corners. The Ice set up against the Salt Lake box. 30 seconds into the power play. Here's Milan Tichy with a blast, and it's deflected into the corner. St. Jacques had his stick on it, but the Eagles able to clear it again, and LeBlanc quick to meet the puck to set it up again.
The Eagles are keeping the ice on the perimeters. They're not allowing Indianapolis to work in front of Trefilov. They're keeping them along the boards and allowing them the puck possession on the outside, Jim. They'll let them play around with the puck as much as they want on the right point, left point, and into the two corners. They've done a nice job of smothering the middle in the slot area and keeping them from getting a good scoring chance. John Marks, I'm sure, would like to see his team crash the net on Trefilov in front of the Salt Lake goal.
Mike Folger, the fine trainer of Indianapolis, along with Jim Playfair. You saw their faces, and it's intensity all over the place now as we approach the final 6:24 of this hockey game. The next broadcast here in Indianapolis on American and Comcast will be Halloween night between the Ice and Cyclones. You can pick it up on American Cable Channel 20 and Comcast Cable HPTV Channel 36.
And next Friday, Eagles and Admirals on KXIV Channel 14 in Salt Lake. Hope you'll stay with us for that or join us at the Delta Center.
Frankly, you need a scorecard to keep in contact with all the broadcast operations for the next few days. We're going to have a quiz at the end to see if you've been paying attention. Ice are on the power play, but only a minute left on his man advantage. Dropa sends it up to Kahn, but it gets past his stick in the neutral zone. Broken up nicely by Dropa, who's able to walk it in. Now Dropa sends it for Kahn. Instead, Willie walks it in. Now he has to backtrack along the near boards. Sean Williams drops it off. Return over the other side, and we got a penalty coming up as Kahn.
Darren Stoke and Rob Kahn were going at it in front of the goal, and I mentioned earlier that's what the Ice need to do on Salt Lake. If they want to score the tying goal, they need to crash the net. Darren Stoke and Kevin Guy, two big customers in front of the goal, and Stoke stood his ground. Kahn is a big player for the Ice. He's 6'2", 200. Stoke for Salt Lake at 6'4", 205, and they were jostling in front for position. Two big, strong guys in front, and Brian Pataff, the Eagles trainer, rushed into the scene, but no problems there. But it looks like the only player to the box is going to be Kahn for the Ice.
Well, if we may, let us be redundant. How many times have we seen this tonight for Indianapolis?
Well, this will be 10 to my records, and somebody doesn't like all these penalties. 14-14 on the high stick to Rob Kahn, and again nullifying a power play here this evening. Greg Kimmerly loves.
Brings it up to the line. Only 5.5 minutes left to play in this game. Here's Andreevsky. Andreevsky shooting in on Trefilov, but way wide into the corner. Ribakrasov is body out of the play. Still tries to stick handle the puck. Tries to get it to Ivan Dropa. Dropa able to keep it along the far boards. Ice able to keep it in. Dropa sends it all the way to the other side. We're skating 4-on-4, but that's about to change. Now Trefilov dives to his right as the puck shoots wide. Power play now for the Golden Eagles, who have the lead in this game 2-1. Now a man ridden off the play as LeBlanc is able to send it all the way off the far boards and all the way down.
Coaches love when the goaltenders help out the defense. LeBlanc himself cleared it down the ice.
Salt Lake City skating with the man advantage and with the lead with 4:45 to go a game. Now that one in the slot broken up nicely by Tony Herkus. Here's Herkus leading the rush right now for Indianapolis. They're shorthanded, but they need to get a goal to force a tie.
It's tough when you're down by a goal and you're shorthanded. You want to open it up, but you can't because you're a man short.
Now it's center ice. This one sent all the way in, whistling past Milan Tichy, who sends it off the glass and is able to clear it. Golden Eagles don't necessarily need to score here.
Yeah, but they've been ineffective on the power play also. Both teams have really had their problems here tonight. The Ice, the only power play goal here tonight out of combined 20 opportunities.
This went back to center ice in Udine, and Udine sends it all the way over to Clark. Well, Clark has that one deflected up in the air. We'll have a face-off coming up with only 8 seconds left on the penalty to Kahn. And 3:54 to go in the game and a 2-1 Salt Lake City lead.
Golden Eagles outshot in the first two periods, 22-15. It's now 27-25, Ice by 2. So the Eagles have had 10 in this period, and the Ice a total of 3. So that's the situation. Actually 5 for the Ice, 10-5 Salt Lake here in this period. Another 8 seconds left in the power play situation, and Jim, a rarity for this game, a 5-on-5.
Yep, we haven't seen much of that tonight, Mike. That one sent off the boards, and we're back to full and equal strength. The Ice will think about pulling Ray LeBlanc when we get down to the final minute. Now Dropa tries to get something started but can't. kept back in the ice end. They've got to generate some offense as Bancroft, the defenseman, gets up to the line. Now he flips it all the way into the right of Trefilov. Kahn tries to get to the puck but can't do it. Good pressure by Cruz back there as well as Paul tries to get to the puck, can't do it. Guy is back there as well as it's poked loose in the corner. Now here's Willie with the puck. Sean Williams out in front. But before Woodcroft could get his stick on it, a fine defensive play by the Eagles.
It's funny, Williams was knocked down in front. Kimberly looked like he was going to make the call and then said, I've made a few too many maybe tonight, and he let it go.
Oh, he's been busy. Only 3 minutes to go in this hockey game. Here's Clark with the puck. Now Bros drops it behind in the corner. Bancroft tries to get to it and cannot. Time winding down on Indianapolis, trailing 2-1. Sean Williams back to center ice. Here's Wortman. Wortman shoots one in off the boards, lets it ricochet behind. One of the Eagles dumped to the ice out in front.
The Eagles just want to keep it deep into the Indianapolis zone. The ice obviously want to get it out, get some pressure, and not be caught on their own side.
Now here comes Kramer Krasov. Kramer Krasov across the line, looking to pass, looking to shoot, fires in, and he just misses, and boy, is he disappointed. He thought he had it tied up. Only 2:15 left in the game. Marks will have to pull a block within the next minute or so. They look to wrap it around, and Trefilov covers up, and we're back with a final 2:10 of regulation. You're listening and watching the Eye from Indianapolis. A good one tonight between the Eagles and Ice.
(1849), the year of the California Gold Rush. 1849, the year Schlitz began brewing beer. The Gold Rush left California with 273 ghost towns. Schlitz brought fame to a little Wisconsin town named Milwaukee. Since that time, many have searched in vain for gold, while the truly fortunate have always known where to find it.
Minutes, 10 seconds left in regulation. Mike Barrett, Jim Barber back at the Pepsi Coliseum. It is 2-1 Salt Lake City. Udine gets the body, or at least Boyer tried to apply the body. Centering pass out in front. Broken up. Eagles unable to clear, but now they've got the puck. And they're able to send it all the way down to the left of LeBlanc. 150 for the hockey game. 1-goal lead, Salt Lake City. They're doing exactly what they had hoped to do there, Mike, as you had mentioned, keeping it deep in the zone.
They're not concerned with a scoring opportunity of their own. They would be just as happy to keep it deeper to the Indianapolis side with the forecheck and make sure they have a third man back. For the defensive team in this situation, you always want to have a third man back. The Ice at this point will throw caution to the wind. They'll send 3, maybe even 4 players in a forecheck. You get down to a minute 20, LeBlanc will go out for the 6th attacker. Eagles want to just keep it deeper to the ice zone. The Ice want to get it deep into Salt Lake territory and forecheck the devil out of the Salt Lake defense.
Face off in the neutral zone. It's won by Salt Lake City. Wortman controls the puck for the Eagles. Bancroft tries to get his stick on it, and it's dumped into the ice zone. 90 seconds left in the hockey game. The Eagles on the road here tonight in Indianapolis, leading 2-1. That one flipped up in the air toward LeBlanc. Chernomaz, who has a goal tonight, chases it down, gets the body from behind by Dropa. Now here's Herkes with a minute 15 left. Look for LeBlanc to make an exit. Now Herkes carries in his own, shoots in on Trefilov, who dives down to his knees. Puck is loose behind the net, out in front again against Trefilov, and Trefilov dives and covers up with only a minute 5 left.
Jim, a coach's decision, about a minute 20 left, the puck deep into the Salt Lake zone. LeBlanc stayed in the goal crease. Some coaches like to pull a goaltender with a minute and a half left. John Marks was waiting to see what kind of offense his team would have. They had some good pops on Trefilov. Now LeBlanc goes, and they'll discuss things at the Ice players bench, but some coaches like to pull them earlier. LeBlanc stayed in there, and it was really a good strategy because the Ice were buzzing in on Trefilov.
Good effort by both teams tonight, and Ray LeBlanc particularly coming up big on many occasions, but Sean Hafey's goal in the final period is the difference in this one, 2-1. In favor of the Eagles.
Trefilov looking for his 3rd win. He has not lost in regulation in the International League. He's 23 years of age, his first year in the IHL, and trying to beat the hero from last year in the Olympics, Ray LeBlanc, and I know that was a little bit of inspiration for him here tonight.
Sure. Face off to the left of Trefilov. 65 seconds left in regulation. Every faceoff big right now because there's an open net on the other end. Eagles get the draw. Ice keep the pressure on. Kahn tries to keep it in, and that one is cleared by the Eagles. It's going to be an icing, though.
Yeah, an icing call as the Eagles cleared it down. To be sure, they'd rather dump it. They don't want to try for that empty net goal. I'm sure if they get a 2-on-1 or a 3-on-2, they'll go for it. But right now, they just are more concerned with clearing it out of their zone. They obviously would prefer not to ice it. The key here on the big ice surface is to rim it on the opposite side or bank it off the boards and hope it doesn't cross the red line. For the ice, obviously, again, they need to set up a play in the offensive zone and maybe use the defenseman Tichy as the point man, and it looks like he's going to be the trigger man with Bancroft on the left point.
Some of the 3,600 starting to file out. Most of the folks still on the edge of their seat. Draw on the Salt Lake end, won by Indianapolis. Extra man right now, looking to tie it up in the final seconds out in front of Trefilov. No chance for a rebound. The puck is still loose in the slot, and the Eagles able to golf it all the way down to the end with only 35 seconds left. Ice will touch it. No icing called. Half minute remaining. Now Tichy sends it up to Woodcroft. Kahn gets his stick on it. We're getting down to 25 seconds left in the game. It's still in the neutral zone. Williams trying to get the return pass. The Eagles can't clear it, though. Here's Bancroft. Sent it off his own man. And we've got a whistle and a face-off coming up with only 18 seconds left in the game.
Smart play by Kevin Guy for Salt Lake at the defense. The Ice were working in at the blue line. Instead of smashing it all the way down the ice and risking an icing, all Guy did was simply tap it outside the blue line. The Ice were disorganized as they try to work right in, and an offside called with 18 seconds left in the third period. A 2-1 Salt Lake lead. The Eagles looking for their first road win of the year. The Ice looking for their first home victory. It's going to take a last-ditch scoring play to send this game into overtime.
Indianapolis has called time for their final instructions. Coming up in the postgame, we'll have highlights of period number 3, pick our star of the game, and tell you what lies ahead for both markets, Salt Lake City and Indianapolis. Mike, it's been a pleasure to work with you tonight.
It's been fun, Jim. I think the fans in both markets getting a chance to see what a great league the International Hockey League has become, a chance to see some tremendous goaltenders, and you know, the world-class goaltenders, the Europeans coming over, and a chance to see the sparkling play of Trefilov. I'm sure the fans have enjoyed him, as they have, of course, for Ray LeBlanc and his stellar play tonight, but maybe not enough as the Eagles still holding on.
Face off in the neutral zone. Ice win the draw. Bancroft sends it in. 15 seconds left in the game. This is Kevin Guy. Kevin Guy gets the body from behind by Herkus, who is able to tie him up and force the face-off.
Ice did what they wanted to do. They want to set up a play. They don't want to keep it moving in there. They would rather freeze it, set up a play, try and get their face-off to their point man, and that's exactly what they wanted to do, freeze it in the offensive zone. The Ice now have a chance to set up a play if they get the draw. The Eagles bottled up now on their own end and will just try and hold on for the final 10 seconds.
Probably without saying, the most important face-off of the game coming up. It will be to the right of Trefilov.
Herkus and Hafey on the draw.
Draw won by Indianapolis. Here's Bancroft, sends it, shooting in is Lauer. He just missed a chance to tie. 3 seconds left in the game. One shot at the buzzer. And a save, and the game is over, and Trefilov came up big. The Eagles win it 2-1. What a great defensive effort tonight.
Boy, I'll tell you what,
Russian goaltender.
Milan Tichy had the best chance. He was about 10 feet inside the blue line. He let go a whipper, and Trefilov got his skate on it. Then they had another chance, and the dejection of Ray LeBlanc as he loses to Trefilov here tonight, who made 2 sparklers. A heartbreak loss for LeBlanc, a great win for the Golden Eagles, an exciting game for everybody here tonight.
When we come back, we'll have the scoring stats and tell you a little bit about what went on today, plus give you some of the highlights of a great third period. Salt Lake wins it 2-1 as you're watching and listening to the International Hockey League. Between the Golden Eagles and the Ice, Salt Lake City wins 2-1.
We look at it as electronic direct mail because you're able to actually pinpoint the areas that you want to be in, the homes, you know exactly where it's going.
Repetition builds reputation, and we feel that that's what we're accomplishing when we're dealing with the interconnect. Cable, television, the interconnect is definitely a major factor in this market.
The best thing about advertising on cable is knowing that our commercials are running in a controlled, targeted environment. That is also cost-effective.
Plug it in, it'll electrify your life. See the power? Seize the power.
What happens when you want to know your bank balance?
At midnight, even though my banking center's closed.
INB's customer information hotline is open.
Anytime you have financial questions, you deserve
prompt answers. That's why
INB's customer information hotline never closes. You can call us
toll-free from anywhere in the country.
So when you bank with us,
you're never out of touch.
With INB's customer information hotline, we're working for you.
24 hours a day.
This is the medal Schlitz just won at the Great American Beer Festival. Schlitz won Best American Lager Beer, beating several major brands. We're proud of this medal, but we're even more proud of the quality and great taste of Schlitz beer. So choose what the judges at the Great American Beer Festival chose. Schlitz, the beer that made Milwaukee famous.
Well, the folks who are filing out of Indianapolis aren't real thrilled with what happened. People back in the West have got to be excited about this young Salt Lake City team as the Eagles, with Trefilov in goal tonight, come up with a defensive gem, 2-1. Jim Barber and Mike Barrick back here at the Pepsi Coliseum in Indianapolis, and let's show you some highlights from the third period. Ray LeBlanc was able to keep Indianapolis in, and with Patrick LeBeau at point-blank range, I'm not sure how he stopped this.
Well, it was a backhand in front. The deflection by Gillingham over to LeBeau. Wide open side. LeBlanc was on the far right goalpost. He came from that position to make a fabulous glove save. LeBeau thought he had his 10th of the year. 9th of the year, I should say.
Well, he was able to keep it at 1-1, but you knew it was going to happen eventually. Salt Lake City able to get the game-winning goal later in the period, and we'll show you that momentarily. The one that Sean Hafey was able to put across against Ray LeBlanc that gave the Golden Eagles a 2-1 win. It was the type of game where one goal was the difference, and the Ice played so many one-goal games last year and were unable to come up winners, and they would love to have had this one tonight, but it didn't happen. It is also our play of the game, and understandably so. So let's show you Sean Hafey's goal that won it for the Golden Eagles.
Oh, the puck was loose in front, and, well, actually that one was a shot earlier that went off the crossbar. Then the play went behind the goal as the Eagles try to work it free. As the puck came to the right of the Indianapolis net, Hafey took possession, worked in on his backhand to the right of the goal. He went upstairs high over the shoulder to the top left-hand side. There was a player in front, Williams, and LeBlanc maybe not seeing it all the way. That turned out to be the game winner. Hafey's 3rd of the year and a 2-1 Salt Lake win here tonight.
Scoring summary, Craig Woodcroft with the only goal tonight for the Ice on the power play with just about a minute left in the first period, assisted by Bancroft and Dropa, which made it Indianapolis 1-0. In the second, Chernomaz tied it up for Salt Lake City with Wortman and Udine assisting at 4:17. And then in the final period, the game winner, you saw it moments ago by Hafey, assisted by Harkins, halfway through the third period, making the final score 2-1 in favor of Salt Lake City. The final numbers on the game, we were talking about this in the break. Look at the power plays.
20 combined power plays. The teams combined for 1 for 20. Both coaches, I'm sure, will be working on 5-on-4s and 4-on-3s in the hockey game. Power play shots favoring Salt Lake 17-9, including 10, all 10 in the third period with the man advantage. And that's a factor for both teams, not getting their offenses generated. And that was the story of the game. Only 3 goals scored, but enough for Salt Lake as they win it 2-1.
So the Golden Eagles come through, and our star of the game, well, that's not a real surprise, is it?
Andrei Trefilov, he's now 3-0-1 for the Golden Eagles. He was brilliant. In fact, in the last few moments of the game, it was Milan Tichy from the right point, striding himself 10 feet inside the blue line. Trefloff makes a skate save. Then the puck was bouncing in front of the Eagles, cleared it away. He was terrific here tonight. And Glenn Hall says he's the quickest goaltender he's ever seen. And I think the fans in Salt Lake and Indianapolis had a chance to see why Glenn Hall has made that tremendous statement about this young 23-year-old who played for Moscow Dynamo last year.
There'll be more hockey here tomorrow night when the Ice skate against Salt Lake City, and Mike Barrick will be calling the game for the Golden Eagles and for the folks back in Salt Lake City. So if for nothing else, come out and say hi to Mike and watch two good defensive teams go at it again.
Fun game here tonight. Eagles will be home next Friday and Saturday against the Milwaukee Admirals, 7 o'clock at the Delta Center, including the Halloween game. And yes, a fun one, and we look forward to an exciting game tonight. Jim, great fun working with you, and it was an enjoyable evening here tonight at the Pepsi Coliseum.
Thank you, Mike. My pleasure. And the next cable broadcast on Comcast and American on Halloween night, Saturday night, a week from tomorrow, as Bob Laming will have the call when the Cyclones and Ice get together here at the Pepsi Coliseum. Well, for all the folks in Salt Lake City as well as Indianapolis, thank you for joining us tonight. Again, Salt Lake City wins it 2-1. Good night from the Pepsi Coliseum in Indianapolis.
You've been watching the Indianapolis Ice from the Pepsi Coliseum in Indianapolis. Good night from American Cablevision and the WTEN production and engineering staff. I'm Tim Renshaw.
Good day, mate. You wouldn't know a phone's the way out of this bowl, would you? What's the matter, mate? Can't cook your tongue? Bust me buttons. It's my own reflection. No wonder he was so good looking. Wait a minute. Point blanking old. I always knew it would happen someday. I just didn't know it'd happen all at one day. Don't bother, mates. An old codger like me's just no use.
Don't talk like that. You're still a rescue ranger. We're trying to cheer him up, stupid. You've probably hurt his feelings. over it.
Nothing like a nap to give you a lift. Where am I? Oh, I'm too old for that kind of thing. I'll just sit down and rest me old bones.
I know those brokers. Every time I see them, something goes wrong with my plans. I'll finish them this time for old times.
Crikey, I really am getting rusty.
Drat, I've lost them. I wouldn't have this problem if there were elephants.
No call for me,
That looks plumb suspicious.
Meddle in my diabolical plans, will you? I'll teach you to leave bad enough alone. How would you like to be 90 years old? In chipmunk years! That's 630 to you and me. Rodents under glass.
Where is everybody? You haven't seen me down there, the old timer. Oh, it's me again. It's just like they remember their old friend Morny when they need him.
What are you doing in there? Ah, the backstroke. Go through that.
Hey, Sonny, how about picking on somebody your own age?
Oh, talk about asking for it. And outsmarted by a mouse.
Being old's not so bad, even if it does slow you down a mite. Just gives you more time to reflect.
This is terrible. Now I'll never conquer the world before I retire. My faulty device. Jump back here. God darn it.
Don't worry, I'm coming.
We almost drowned in prune juice. Yeah, but I sure feel healthy.
How do I get off of this thing?
I have an idea. Chip, you and Dale grab Nimnall's aging device and take it over to those plum trees. Zipper, you come with me. There he comes. We have to push it on. If my theory is right, we should be able to reverse what's happened by feeding plums into this device. I don't get it. How will plums help? Well, prunes are just aged plums, so... Plums should make it much younger. I hope...
Stop! Get away from there! That bogey belongs to this bogey!
Hurry! Start loading! Now, help me aim it at Monty! I hope
a visit to your favorite old jail cell.
You're your old self again. I mean, your young self. Thanks to Gadget.
You know, lover, as long as you were turning back the clock, you could have shaved off a few extra years.
Or at least a few pounds.
What do they serve for breakfast in jail?
Anything you want, old timer.
No, thanks. Anything but thanks.
I'm